Hi friends, welcome back. So Elon Musk and the crypto tech bros want to change the financial system. As you know, Elon Musk lately has been tweeting up a storm saying, get rid of that regulation, get rid of that federal agency, let's have freedom and power to the people. That's the kind of stuff that Musk will say. I want to go over this because there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there that Musk spreads. And let's just jump right in. First, this is a comment coming in from the community. This is just a few minutes ago, and the person's name is Bread Winner. There's a picture of him there. And Bread Winner says, Trump is what America needs. You all need a brain. He also goes on to write another post, Biden pushes lawless America. You got it twisted, clown face, referring to me. And he says, go back to China. So this is your average viewer on YouTube and your average viewer on X. And if you want to be popular on these social platforms, make content that makes these kind of people happy. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily have to pander to this kind of audience, but I do want to show you this is the largest audience out there on YouTube, and I guess the majority in USA these days, and that's what's up. What's going on as well is Elon Musk has been retweeting out all kinds of stuff. Here's Musk saying, forward this video to friends and family to understand just how evil the government has been. And
new in financial services. And
can you give me an example?
Well, like I said, debanking. This is where a lot of the debanking comes from, is these agencies. So debanking is when you as either a person or your company are literally kicked out of the banking system.
Like they did to Kanye.
Exactly, like they did to Kanye. My partner Ben's father has been debanked.
Really?
We had an employee who
for what?
For having the wrong politics, for saying unacceptable things.
This is an interview with Andreessen. Andreessen's basically claiming, saying, oh, my friends are getting debanked and the whole system is evil and they're just trying to get rid of us for political reasons. And when you dig into this stuff, and this guy actually has been in the tech world for quite a long time. I think he was part of the Netscape team that brought that to light. I mean, there's a long history of things. And essentially right now, the dude is a crypto bro. He's all about crypto these days, right? And so the crypto bros were all complaining is that the government is coming in to regulate them. Here's the thing, guys. I called this stuff out well in advance of the fall of FTX. If you've been following my channel for a long time, you would know this. I'm just putting up some videos to look at. But basically, I was calling out all of these influencers saying, guys, these are all a bunch of paid shills by FTX. It's all sketchy as hell. It turns out I was absolutely correct. You guys know people did go to prison. There was a class action lawsuit. You can watch my other videos on that thing. I'm just pointing this stuff out because we're seeing these same patterns again, to where you have these social media people who are paid to say said things, or essentially they're pushing for a completely deregulated world where it's the Wild West. And the people who get hurt, unfortunately, is just your average American, or it's not just American, but people around the world who end up buying into whatever Ponzi schemes or whatever, thinking that it's safe just because there's a website. That's what it is. And it is a complicated thing to talk about because I understand there's a lot of people in there that have money in this stuff, or they have a bunch of robots out there that promote whatever messages or pay promoters to promote their products, etc. I get that there's money involved in this stuff, and that's why they get so passionate about these things, because like, why don't you buy my Ponzi? And so then there's this big talk about, hey, we have to change our financial system because the dollar is just too strong and we need to get to like something else, like my Dogecoins. That's essentially what we're talking about. And there's a lot of people who say, freedom is all about selling whatever Ponzi or Dogecoin that you have. And Musk is a big part of this, is because if you guys don't know, he was a big pumper of Dogecoin. He actually wants to turn his platform, Twitter X, into like a financial payments thing. He was all about this stuff for a long time, the financial space. And guys, the thing with the financial stuff, there's any kind of money laundering or illegal activities that can happen with these things. That's sort of why we regulate these things, right? Or what if, these new sort of fly-by-night, banks, or I'll call them banks, how about the crypto services or whatever, just basically take your money, trade it away, and then just disappear, like your FTX kind of thing. This is what it is. This is Musk. He'll say, you, the people, should decide the narrative, not through editors of legacy media. And so what he's kind of pushing for, and again, this is the destruction of American institutions, is that forget about anyone with any credentials, forget about any kind of institutions, just pay attention to my platform where I can have a bunch of bots put out, whatever likes and retweets of my particular content and just believe the average Joe on the street who's trying to sell you a Ponzi. This is what this all boils down to, is do we want a system to where you're free to sell whatever Ponzi's and scam whoever that you want? Right? This is what we're talking about here. And yes, there's a lot of people who make a lot of money from this stuff, but the vast majority are going to get hurt. And I know it sounds no fun when you put it in those terms, because people are just like, no, Chris, we're all going to get rich. And that pretty girl who keeps messaging me on Twitter, right? I mean, there's a lot of pretty girls on Twitter. And they all just want to cuddle, right? And then I message them and say, "Oh, you want to cuddle? I want to cuddle too." And then they find out they have a sick uncle or a sick father, and you need to send them a bunch of money, and then you need to send them money to buy the plane ticket so they can meet you and come cuddle. And then the date comes, and when they're supposed to arrive, and they don't show up, and you're like, "Oh no, what happened?" And they just delete their account, and your money is gone. That's how a typical scam works. That's a very simple one, right? You could call that one catfishing or whatever. But it all relates to this kind of stuff, right? Financial crime. Elon Musk is also tweeting out this person, Sid Kala, saying, "We were debanked by JP Morgan and Chase after a 7-year banking relationship." And you look into it, guys, it's so easy to find. The Sid Kala is like all about Bitcoin and crypto. Bitcoin is free money, freedom money is what this person's calling it. You look up Sid Kala more, and again, this is the kind of stuff that Elon Musk is promoting. Turned out this person is a chief technology officer of some sort of fintech firm called AccuPay. You look up AccuPay, you got to do a lot of digging on this stuff. You look up AccuPay, here it is right here. AccuPay, service without borders, right? That's what it says here. And this is from their website. Our mission: we provide dynamic tax relief solutions through technology and client-centered services. So what do you think that means? Service without borders, tax relief, right? We're talking about tax evasion, any number of things that these financial crimes can do. And guys, the reason why I address this stuff is because guys, I just want to make sure I totally get it. Make sure you understand, and want to make sure you get it too. Is there's people out there profiting from any number of illegal activities or Ponzi schemes. That's what a lot of this stuff amounts to. And they sell it to you with slick marketing. They all look cool. They're all getting rich, but they're the ones getting rich off of your dime. That's how this game is played. Now, there's a thing you can look up. It's called Operation Choke Point, and there's a whole bunch of this kind of stuff out there. But essentially, what kind of financial crimes could, and this is before crypto, but I'm just saying, just in general, what kind of financial crimes can happen in the financial industry, banking, et cetera, and sort of why we need regulations for this kind of stuff. So just imagine that you're a bank, and suddenly you have an account, and this account's getting like tons of cash payments all the time, like every week on a Thursday or whatever, they get a cash payment. like they the owner of the account is depositing cash, like lots of cash all the time. You're like, well, where is this cash coming from? Like, it's like seems to be untraceable or whatever. Here's the kind of types of activity if you're in sort of when a bank flags an account for doing something nefarious. For example, are they selling ammunition? Are they selling are they coin dealers? Is it some sort of credit card scheme? Is it some sort of dating service, right? Is it some sort of, I can't even say this stuff on YouTube. We'll call it substance devices that they're selling you, right? Are they selling you some sort of friend service where a friend will come to your house and go to whatever event or stay at your house, right? We'll call it friend. Are they selling some sort of firearms? Are there some sort of pawn shop? Is there some sort of online gambling? Like there's all sorts of crazy stuff. Is it a pyramid scheme? Are they doing some sort of I can't even say this. Substance sales? Is it some sort of quote travel club or payday loan? These kind of things, guys. There's a whole industry out there, and if you ever drive through a poorer neighborhood and you see lots of like payday loans, loan sharks, pawn shop, these kind of things. There's a lot of, and I'm just talking about stuff you can see. There's a bunch of stuff at night that if you, whatever neighborhood you are in, can also see. But this basically shady dealings that happen in cash, and then the cash, they try to put it into the bank account, and the bank's like, why are you putting cash in all the time? So these are the sort of things that are red flags at banks, and then you may get flagged by the bank account for whatever reason. Moreover, you have this. You have like people like a Dan Ives. He literally wears clown suit on CNBC all the time.
Obviously anti-tax, so you're going to definitely have someone that's a little on the aggressive side toward tech, but I think the big issue is on FTC. Because for big tech, it has been a nightmare in terms of at the FTC. Her being gone, which we believe is ultimately will be the next step when it comes to January, that's bullish for tech. I think, look, a big reason when Trump came in, when you think about out the FTC, that's bullish for big tech. I think less regulations. And then who's at the table right next to Trump? It's Musk. And I think that's going to also play a big role unofficially in terms of some of these picks and where this all goes. But I continue to think in terms of this AI revolution, it is 10 p.m. at that party that goes to 4 a.m. And I don't see any of these appointments that's changing that party or that party closes early. I think we have a tech bull market that goes well into 2025, 2026.
And these days, these guys are all celebrating, and I'll do it in a Dan Ives voice. Yeah, the Lena Khan, she's just been just a drain on the tech companies, man. And when Lena Khan goes, and I think she's gonna go, and after Trump, gets into office, Lena Khan over at the FTC, she's just gonna be gone, and we're gonna all about deregulation, which is gonna be a good thing for Musk and Trump, man. They're gonna be like putting robots and robotaxis and AI on the road, and it's just gonna be money making. I think Tesla's gonna be $2 trillion. Yeah, man. So I tried my best Dan Ives impression there, but that's what it's all about. They all want to deregulate everything so they can run whatever Ponzi scams that they want. And that's what he literally wears these suits and goes on CNBC. This was just yesterday he did this. And then you have this, Elon Musk tweeting out Steve Mark Ryan, who's this dude in Australia, who's one of the crypto, I should say Tesla stock promoters. Crypto is a part of it, but Tesla stock promoters.
My Tesla stock price target for year-end 2024 is $3,000 per share. In 2024, I am expecting the two biggest catalysts to date in the history of Tesla: robotaxis doing their first fully autonomous fares somewhere on planet Earth, most likely in the US, maybe in China, and the release of the $25,000 Tesla, aka the Tesla Q. Please, if anyone at Tesla's watching, make sure this name happens.
And this is the kind of stuff that he writes. And again, this is one of Elon Musk's paid shills. Stephen Mark Ryan says, I am convinced that if someone spent 40 hours per week posting quality content for which there's an audience on X, right? He's trying to promote X, Twitter, and heavily engaged with premium users within 12 months, they'd be making more than the average income in whatever country they live. So then essentially Musk has all of these paid promoters out there telling you you're all going to get rich posting on X, right? So give Elon Musk $8 a month so that you can get rich. It sounds just a lot like crypto, doesn't it? And you have this. That's why I have to go through this stuff, because I want you guys to be able to see what's happening here. Another one, it's like so many crazy stuff. Musk, true. The New York Times is pure propaganda. Yes, that's what Musk wants you to believe. And they're retweeting Wall Street Mavericks, I guess. This is so wrong. The Republicans did not build an ecosystem of influencers, right? And they're referring to an article. And this is the article that they're referring to, and they're saying this is all lies. Republicans build an ecosystem of influencers. Some Democrats want one too. What are they referring to? Well, guys, again, Musk is calling this lies, but Musk is the one who's lying. I'll be perfectly frank. The article is actually about this thing called Turning Point USA. What it basically is, and it's not just this, it's just sort of this whole network of right-wing influencers on YouTube, X, etc., that go on each other's programs, they interview each other's, and they complain all day about government and regulations, and they all push crypto, they all push you whatever ridiculous Ponzi's, and they actually also sadly push Russian propaganda. They're having their big meeting. They had a meeting last year. This is the kind of people that come on their thing: Glenn Beck, Patrick Bet-David, Charlie Kirk, right? Tucker Carlson. Here's their lineup for next time around. You guys can see it. Steve Bannon's on there, Donald Trump Jr., Dr. Ben Carlson, Tim Pool, right? All kinds of people. Oh my God. Marjorie Taylor Greene. You guys know who these people are. Matt Gaetz is going to be there. Oh my God. I really want to see Matt Gaetz. It's a joke, of course. It's just all the usual suspects that you would expect. And when you get these kind of headlines, guys, for me, it's obvious what's going on here. I'll just read it to you. You should be, if you're smart enough to figure it out, you should be able to see. U.S. conservative influencers say they were victims of Russian disinformation campaign. If you don't know, these people are paid, I think it's like some crazy number, 100,000 a video to basically produce content that is very favorable towards Russia. It's pretty nuts. They're claiming they're victims. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. And you have this, and this is where it gets, and I know I make jokes about this stuff, but this is where I get so irritated. And you could call it angry. It's like this is Tucker Carlson interviewing Putin and basically pushing Russian propaganda. Tucker Carlson went to Moscow even and was talking about how great the grocery stores were in Russia and the subway, and it was really just, it was like a travel show for Russia. It was total propaganda, and it's a sad state of affairs, right? And I want to make this really clear, guys. I want to make this really clear. I have nothing against the average Russian citizen at all, and I hope we can all be friends and have a good relationship with each other and stuff like that. Just sometimes there are leaders in certain countries that are up to no good. There's no other way to put it. And unfortunately, also too, that there is this like web of Putin sympathizers, and it's sad. I don't know how else to say it. And these people do it for money, and it's that. And it's also connected to this kind of stuff. And I have to go through all these things so you guys understand like how bad these people are. There's no other way to put it. And they're bringing into the Trump stuff, and yes, he's going to take office. And I can talk about this stuff in the past. For those of you who follow this stuff, you already know these things. But for some people, they don't. There's a lot of crazy crap because it's been going on for years. This is a headline from back in 2015. Trump Taj Mahal Casino settles U.S. money laundering claims. Great. That's exactly what I want to see. And then we also have this Trump files, shady way Fred Trump tried to save his son's casino. You can find this old article here in 2016, how Donald Trump bankrupt his Atlantic City casinos, but still earned millions. Basically, he's been running this kind of sham operations, debt based on debt based on debt. He's really good at publicizing stuff, talking about Trump here, and weaseling his way out of things. And there's all sorts of, the guy's a felon, is how to put it. There's all sorts of stuff that it's crazy. People worship this guy for, opening up casinos that go bankrupt. And casinos are basically, to take money from poor people. You can say take money from rich people too. You can say that, but just take money from people. It's a freaking casino. And for whatever reason, people worship that. And right now, and I keep bringing it up, I just keep bringing it up because it's so crazy. This is the headline. There's no else to say it. Trump family gets 75% of crypto coin revenue. Great. Has no liability. New document reveals. That just came out in October. If any other candidate, any other politician were running a crypto scam, and this is just one of several scams that Trump is running, this would be a massive scandal. Could you imagine if Obama had like just one scandal? For them, Fox News, a scandal for Obama was like wearing a brown suit or not wearing a flag, a little flag pin. But imagine if like Obama's running a crypto scam. just imagine that. Well, all I can do is laugh because like I just don't know what to say. And then you have the guy who bought the banana artwork thing for $6 million. He gave $30 million to Trump's crypto thing. And guys, I'll just say this. I keep repeating it, but if you haven't seen it, please watch it. The new Trump movie, just see it. It'll give you a sense in a world of what Trump was like in his early years. I've seen several movies also. There's a Korean movie called 1987. You haven't seen it? This sort of shows the movement for freedom in Korea. Just see it. Just see it because it exposes what corruption's like for Americans who have no idea. That's why you have to show this kind of stuff because America's had these going back to these ways of, say, how Korea was in the 80s and 70s or 70s and 80s, I think is a better way to say it. And you'll understand that like Trump is basically a mafia boss. It's all about loyalty and that kind of thing. See it for yourself. And the control information is really important, especially in this movie. Is it really going to call 12 today? Or see Bitcoin, which is a more contemporary one about how Bitcoin scammers work and crypto companies, etc. Lastly, I'll just say this, in this world, like there's a lot of corruption out there. There totally is. It doesn't mean that you completely, forget about investing and saving money. But I'll just say this, go with what's safe these days. So I mentioned like, say, hey, just pay off your debt. I mean, that's just a really good advice. Or, hey, make sure that you're secure at your job because things are going to get ugly, in my opinion, going future next year, next couple of years. Or, hey, just buy index funds. I understand this on social media. There's always the hottest, coin out there, whatever, and everyone seems to be, quote, getting rich. But be very, very careful out there with that kind of stuff because there's a lot of shady characters out there and they don't have your best interests at heart. And anyone who is spend all day, every day complaining about the feds, complaining about regulations, that kind of stuff, that's how criminals talk, right? Just think about that. If you're, doing whatever criminal activity and you're like, man, I got to get the police off my back. Man, I just hate the police following me around on time. Who says that stuff? Criminals say that stuff, right? And sadly, we're in this environment on social media where we're like glorifying criminal activity. It is a sad state, but remember too, there's a lot of essentially robots and paid shills out there on social media, so be careful. And that's my advice to you. And guys, I do appreciate you guys watching, and I catch you on the next video.